Read the Bible with me. Today we're going to see how if we give honor to God, then God will honor us. So Pharaoh's having a bad dream and he needs an interpreter, and all of a sudden the cupbearer remember, oh snap, now I remember, I have done a wrong thing. 2 years ago, I met this dude in prison who interpreted my dreams. Really, cupbearer? Really? 2 years later? So they call for Joseph. He gets cleaned up, shaves his beard, and he presents himself in front of Pharaoh. Now, Joseph could have just taken the credit and automatically start interpreting his dream, but he said, I can't do this, but God. After all these years of being in prison, he's still glorifying God. Are we? So Potiphar tells Joseph about his dreams of these 7 fat cows and skinny cows, and then these 7 healthy grains and skinny, almost dead grains of wheat. Basically, the skinny, almost dead looking cows and grain, 2 separate dreams. They eat the fat ones, but you can't tell that they ate them even after they ate them. So Joseph, once again, giving it back to God. I said, God has shown you what he will do. And then he interprets the dream. You got 7 years of goodness going on, followed by 7 years of famine. And the part where you talk about you can't even tell when the thin cows ate the healthy cows, that means that the famine is going to be so bad that the people aren't even going to remember the 7 good years of plenty. And then Joseph begins to should on them. Here's what you should do. Hire some officers to store 5% of all of the food that's produced in all of the land of Egypt during the 7 good years. That way, the people won't starve during the 7 years of famine. And in verse 38, Pharaoh says, this man has the Spirit of God in him. Only God could help him know something like this. So therefore, you got to be the wisest officer I've ever seen. Hence, you are now my head officer in charge of everything. My entire kingdom, all of Egypt, everything. I am the only one that's higher than you. You can have my ring. You can have my gold chain. Let me hook you up in a chariot. Matter of fact, I'm even going to give you a wife.
Joseph had 2 sons born to him before the years of famine came. Joseph named the firstborn Manasseh, forget, saying, God made me forget all my hardships in my parental home. He named his second son Ephraim, double prosperity, saying, God has prospered me in the land of my sorrow.
This type of promotion could never have happened in Canaan. And so as jacked up as it is that Joseph's brothers sold him into slavery and he went to jail when he didn't even do it, all I can see is how God used all of that mess to create this beautiful message for us today who might be struggling with family and circumstances, that no matter what, just like Joseph always glorified God, and therefore people were able to see the God in him, which was ultimately the reason for him being chosen to save God's chosen people. It's the God in us, y'all. It's the God in us. And more specifically, success comes from God. But people gotta be able to see the God in you. That part.